Hello and welcome to Richard Plays Games. My name is Richard and I play games, and welcome to Parkitect. Yes, we are in something a little bit different today. It's not Planet Coaster. We are going to start playing a little bit of Parkitect, and we'll get into the reasons why when we get into building the park. But I did say in episode 6 of Avalon Studios that I was going to run into a little bit of a block on my free time, and that block has been blockier than I had expected. And today really is the first time with any amount of time free that I've been able to sit down in front of my computer, and it just didn't seem like sitting down inside Planet Coaster was going to lead to anything worth showing, and I don't like just putting out videos for the sake of it. So I thought, let's get into something with a little bit of a structure, something with a good campaign mode, because we all know that Planet Coaster does not have a good campaign mode. So we're not going to be sandboxing it here. We are going to play through the vanilla Parkitect campaign mode, because as always I am a good 4 years behind everyone else, maybe 3 in this case. Maybe I'm catching up a little bit, but let's jump in. So we're not going to do the tutorial, because I did that before I started recording, so I could remember how to play this game, because it's been a while. So actually what we're going to do is we are going to jump into Maple Meadows, which is a large clearing on the frontiers of a maple forest, the perfect place to build your first park from the ground up. Easygoing guests, relaxed weather, what more could you ask for? What more could we ask for? Our only real objective is to have at least 200 guests in our park, and the optional objective is to complete that by the end of December year 1, which we absolutely will be going for as well. So let's just hit start. Okay, so we are in our park. We're going to pause. We've got plenty of money, so we can work on getting that optional achievement. It's just a flat piece of land, really, isn't it? There's not really too much more to it than that, so it's quite a nice easy place to start. I think this is definitely about just easing you into playing Parkitect. So without further ado, let's jump into a time lapse. Let's get the beginnings of our park sorted out, and let's chat about what's going to be coming up on the channel. So what's coming up on the channel? Is this the end of Planet Coaster? It most definitely is not the end of Planet Coaster. I love Planet Coaster. Avalon Studios is something I've absolutely thoroughly enjoyed working on so far, and I will be back there eventually. I don't want to put a time on it, because who knows. The thing is, when you're not feeling particularly creative, it's hard to sit in these kind of games and churn out stuff. And I already said I don't like making things for the sake of making things, but it is difficult when you're not in the correct kind of frame of mind. And for a bunch of reasons, I have not been in a good frame of mind recently for a number of things, but playing Planet Coaster is one of them. So I wanted something that, I don't want to say easier. Parkitect isn't easy. It's quite difficult, actually, and I can attest to that, because this is the third attempt I've had at doing Maple Meadow. This is my third attempt at this video, so it's not easy, but it isn't. There's a whole bunch of stuff you don't have to worry about, and because it's a campaign and the campaign is so well structured, it just means that there's a little bit less to worry about, and that really is the driving force behind playing this. There is I could have gone in and played Pharaoh. I know we haven't played that in months, but I wanted something modern-ish to play. And you know what, this channel for me is just because I love these games and I just like to share them with people. It's not anything more than that. So I get a bit stressed sometimes about, getting out content for my 36 subscribers, but really, this isn't for that. This is because these are the things I like to do, and I just like to talk about the things I like to do. So I'm going to take a little bit more of an opportunity to play a bunch of different stuff, and for a while that's going to be Parkitect, and Planet Coaster will come back, and a whole bunch of other stuff. I've been playing World of Warcraft again, which I don't know if I'll make a video. I don't think it fits the channel, but if I do make a video, then yeah, if I'm loving it, I'm going to share it, because it's what I like to do, and that's what Richard Plays Games is all about. It's just about sharing my passion for games. But that's Richard Plays Games is sticking around. We're not going anywhere, and for a while, like I said, it's going to be Parkitect. So what are we doing right now? We are making just a nice food court entrance building just to anchor the opening area of our park before we start getting into building rides. So we've got some food stalls in there, and another non-functional building just to sort of start that little opening square off. And then we've placed a carousel because, let's face it, what small amusement park doesn't have a carousel? You have to have carousels. It's like a mainstay, isn't it? And I think it's quite nice coming up through that main opening street, and you'll be able to see the carousel at the end. It's quite inviting. It really ended up being exactly kind of what I wanted it to be. So that's what this opening area is all about. It's just a nice family small amusement park in a forest. I don't really know what else to say about it. I don't want to make this comparison too often because it's obvious and everyone's made it a million times before, but this is very Roller Coaster Tycoon 1 sort of style, the isometric grid and all that kind of stuff, but just with a lot more, ability to be creative. I really didn't expect this game the first time I played it, and even now I'd forgot that there is a lot of customization options available in Parkitect, and just playing with a whole bunch of different pieces, even the limited pieces we have in this opening campaign mission, it just blew me away again about how much really you can make. And while I've been away not playing, I have been watching a lot of YouTube, and YouTube sort of suggested that I watch Silverette's Parkitect playthrough, and that reminded me actually that I did enjoy this game when I played the minimal amount I did before, and I wanted to get back into it. So here we are, and I'm kind of happy to be back. Just placing down our first thrill ride though. So this is a twister, and just going to build a cover for that as well. These two rides, the teacups, that was the second ride that we placed down, and the twister, they are the kind of rides that in these amusement parks they definitely would have covers over them. They're quite common to have covers over these rides, and it just helps with just trying to sort of integrate everything quite nicely. In my earlier attempts at Maple Meadow, I had got really frustrated about how incomplete everything felt, lots of empty space. So this time I'm just trying to integrate everything quite nicely, not leaving huge open areas of grass and things like that. That coaster we've just popped down, by the way, is from one of my earlier playthroughs. I did I saved the blueprint because I had made it in an earlier attempt at doing Maple Meadow, and then I just kind of liked it as a small junior coaster, and I wanted to keep it, so I just saved the blueprint. So I'm not using the in-game blueprints at this point anyway. I'm not saying I won't. I just generally try not to. Just going to make the station building for it now, just for this kind of junior coaster. Not really much else. I was hoping in the episode to make a spinning coaster, and I'm going to say in the commentary, because I'm doing this out of order in a moment, that's my next goal. We don't get it done, so apologies if you wait around for that. It's just not coming. But we're nearly there. We're gonna finish this off, just plant a few trees, and then let's jump into a real-time section and see how we're getting on. Real-time section. So let's go through what we've made so far. We are open. Maple Meadows is open. We have pressed play. We have people coming into the park. So let's go through this little entrance area that we've created, starting with our food court. So just an anchor building for the entrance of the park. So if we hide the scenery, burgers and juice is what we got in there. I couldn't remember, but we got burgers and juice in there. It's nicely linked up to the backstage and the haulers through those backstage paths. And then over here, like we said, we've got our teacups with I quite like that cover that we've put over them, and then we've got the seating area on the other side of the lake, and then the queue area down the side. And then you can sit and look across. If the mouse movements make no sense, ignore them. It's because I recorded over my real-time section audio, so I'm doing it again. And then we've got our carousel, like we said, a mainstay of all small amusement parks. Currently charging $3 for it, though. I don't know if I would go on that, but you can't have a small amusement park without a carousel. And it's the one that's supposed to entice people to come back. We then have our twister, again with a we're trying to sort of change the color scheme up as we move further in. So moving from those reds that are covering the teacups to sort of more browns that are covering, more neutral colors as we get closer in. And then the mini coaster that I made earlier, that we've upped to $5, and we're just going to go ahead and change the track colors because it's not very fitting currently with our color scheme. But that's pretty much it for what we've got so far. I'm pretty confident that we probably wouldn't actually need to do any more. I think this level is quite easy. We've got a fairly decent amount of money, so I am intending on building a spinning coaster, but also we're going to chuck some advertisements on, just some flyers for 3 months, just to really boost our attendance. Again, probably don't need it, but anyway, what we'll do now, we will get back into a time lapse and start the next phase of our park. Okay, time lapse number 2, and this is about finishing off the back end of the park, which we're going to anchor with a couple of flat rides. This Wipeout, I think, is the name of the thrill ride, and then a spiral slide that we're going to place down in a moment, and then just kind of make a combined queue area for both of them. You can see still I'm sort of leaving these big grassy areas around, and that's my problem with this game mostly. I always go and try and I leave big gaps between everything. I just don't integrate things well. So I'm just trying to get more used to less space, less grass, more just ride next to path, next to more ride, next to more path. I don't know if it's the Planet Coaster player in me. I don't know if it's just the fact I'm a terrible Parkitect player. Who knows, right? I'm working on it. Hopefully episode 2 will be better. You can see I've done it here as well. Once I build this queue, I've left these big grassy areas in front of these rides there. There's just no reason for them to be there, so I just chuck some path in there and put some benches down and some canopies just to kind of keep everything covered. So other than time jump, that was just because it was raining and the footage looked really terrible. This is our second food court, so just somewhere close enough that we could link it up to the backstage area, to the hauliers, to be able to bring the stuff, but also far enough away that it's not just right there in the front of the park that there's just 2 food courts next to each other. It just wouldn't be like that. But it's just another nice building to sort of anchor an area, make it all seem keep people flowing towards the back of the park there. I play around with that end piece for ages, and I've just remembered that I needed 2 end pieces. But anyway, doesn't matter now because we're just watching, we're not playing. Just trying to, again, detailing, trying to learn how to detail in this game. It's quite a learning curve after you've played a Planet Coaster, where you kind of use a lot of things as things they are not, whereas in Parkitect you kind of use things as what they are. There's not like, using a fence as a, I don't know, I can't think of anything, but like art shapes as awnings and roofs made out of individual corbels and stuff like that. You don't do that in Parkitect, and so just detailing is slightly different. But that's about all she wrote. We're going to go back into real time. We'll just go over these last little bit, and we'll finish off this episode. We have completed a goal. Confetti, please. Any minute now. There it is. We got to the end before I actually finished the park, which is my fault. I don't think I needed to spend the money on that advertising campaign. It just seemed to get me there a little bit quicker than I really needed to, but that's fine. While the confetti is falling, let's just go through and have a look at the couple more things we did during that last time lapse. So really it is these 2 flat rides here that have this shared queuing area side by side, and we built a second food court / restaurant just over here. Again, just very nondescript, no real theming like the other one, and it's just joined behind the back here with to the depot. What the plan had been personally for myself was opposite this station for the mini coaster. We were going to have a station here for a spinning coaster that was going to sort of take up this space and essentially complete this rectangle of the park. But we got there before I ran out of money for one, and we got there before we needed it. So that's it for this episode. We will move on to the second scenario in episode 2, but if you have enjoyed the video, don't forget to click that like button, and why not subscribe to the channel to keep up with Parkitect, Planet Coaster and all of the other games that we play. But until the next one, I will see you when I see you.